Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most pre-recorded podcast where we pre-record our podcast. I am your co-host, MegaRedsFan, here with my co-host,
Original Jellyfish.
Original Jellyfish. And comes back in and there's a nail sticking out of the back of his head. And it's like deep in the back of his head.
Yeah, didn't he die?
Yeah, I killed him.
Okay. I just needed a refresher to remember.
Yeah, he's dead. The orgy server, of course.
Yes, the orgy server. That's crazy. There's drama in the the Lego Battles Reddit.
I guess. We used to play 3 people on a Chromebook, which you have to understand, that is the most cramped keyboard. We had 3 hands.
You're like, shut down. It's like, alright, shutting down, Brian. Like, no. Yeah. Beware of the well. Sometimes you can still hear them at night whispering, Arigato. Welcome to my Facebook Live, guys.
That was his username. That's our Trove username.
I used the wrong one.
Those are our Trove usernames.
Yes. What was your Trove username again?
I don't know. Probably MegaRedsFan. I stuck. This name.
I'm gonna have to get on Trove just to look at my friends list.
Yeah. I've used this username since Roblox, so.
Really?
Yeah. Because no one else names themselves MegaRedsFan, so it's like it's always gonna be free. So, instead of like.
Time for me to start using MegaRedsFan.
Instead of like Cool Guy 123 or something, or Ninja. Yeah.
But. Oh man, have you you don't have Borderlands 3 yet, right?
No.
So apparently, through the Epic Games launcher or whatever, you can get it for free.
Interesting. Like for a limited time, or like?
Nah, you just get the game, and it's free.
That doesn't seem okay. Well, I'll do that after, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So because of that, a lot of people have been like, "Hey Nick, I know you have Borderlands 3. Let's play." So I have been on a Borderlands 3 kick lately. Although, because they all had created their characters before I had gotten a chance to, I'm stuck with the gunner.
I don't know what the characters. What are the classes?
So they're pretty much the same as the old games, like the base classes. So there's the Siren, the Gunner.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what the other 2 are.
The Gunzerker.
But they follow the same trend. It isn't the Gunzerker in this one. In this one, instead, it's the Beastmaster, or Beast Tamer or something, actually. So that one is actually different. But then there's the Operative, or whatever, who's just essentially the new Zero. His name is just Zone, or Zane, or something.
Lame.
But, so the Siren, from what I can tell, is literally just a better Maya or Lilith. Because not only does she have Lilith's power, not only does she have I was about to say she's gonna have a 3rd power, but oh wait, she does. Yeah, she has Maya's, Lilith's, and a unique one, just to her. So
interesting.
Yeah, she can literally use any of their abilities. You just have to set it up. So she has something called Phase Grasp, which is just a giant hand comes from the ground and grabs them wherever they are. They stay there for as long as Phase Locked used to. Phase Cast, where you just throw out an astral projection of yourself, like Lilith does. And then there is a giant Fist Slam, where anything surrounding you takes damage, essentially.
So it's like the ice cream cone from Trove.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So she is kind of broken for that, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And all of her paths are actually pretty good. Her Phase Slam path is like based all around health regeneration, health boosting and just generally things that keep her alive. Phase Lock is based around... Oh shoot, what was that based around? Phase Lock is mostly based around like melee attacks, surprisingly enough, and just like general things to keep you going for that. And then Phase Cast is mostly about your like ranged weaponry and the speed at which you use them. Oh, I remember what Phase Lock's thing was. It's all about like the elemental damage stuff. That's what it was.
Yeah, like slag and slag.
Yeah,
I only remember
like
slag.
it increases your acidic damage, or fire damage, or radiation damage, or well,
Slag.
I don't know if it does radiation, but yeah, it does stuff. The gunner, even though I didn't want to play as the gunner, is actually kind of fun because what she does is she summons a giant mech that is called an Iron Bear.
That's cool.
And on each of the paths, there are like 2 kinds of weaponry that you can equip to the Iron Bear, and the Iron Bear can equip like 2, like on each of his arms, different weapons. So what I have right now is on one is a grenade that if I hit you directly, it does 35% more damage than normal. So it's just, grenade, but big damage. And then there's homing missiles on my other one for the long range attacks for the enemies that I just can't get to. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm just killing bosses left and right because there are like bosses that'll jump around the whole map and I'm just like, I literally can't hit you. You're moving too much. So I will just equip both arms with homing missiles and just target with both and just send them all out flying and they just die. It's just death. It's pretty fun. And the bear has its own like health because it acts like a vehicle. So, once it breaks, it self-destructs, dealing damage to anything around it except for the user.
Right.
Also, one of the perks that I got for it, it gives it a gunner seat. So my allies can literally ride the Iron Bear with me using a machine gun turret thing.
Huh. So it is like a car.
It's kind of fun. Pretty much. Like, I'm just driving a car, like, essentially. And it can run, which is kind of funny to watch. It's just really tall, so I can't get through some doorways. So then I have to leave it behind.
Oh, yeah.
So when I leave it, I have this ability called Auto Bear, which means the bear just stands still and acts like a turret and starts like attacking anything that comes within its range, which is pretty big range. If it can see it, it can attack. So it'll just go on autopilot, like killing everything in the area. Like, oh my god, yes, thank you. It even has a shield that reflects a percent amount of incoming projectiles. So, I'm getting used to the Iron Bear and the gunner. And then there is... I know more about the Siren and the gunner than any of the other characters. Well, I guess the other 2. But as far as I know, the Beast Tamer or whatever can choose between 3 different pets. One pet does a lot of regeneration for him and his party. One pet just has a lot of like melee damage where they'll just go up and smack the crap out of them. Yeah. And the last one is a monkey that can shoot like fiery flaming barrels or guns. So it increases his weapon damage and the monkeys. Oh, apparently it also has an ability where it will immediately, if the Beast Tamer is downed, the monkey will immediately come back and revive him. So that's an ability on its tree. So you always get your second wind. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, I think there might be a cooldown for it or something. There has to be. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of want to play the Beast Tamer at some point, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I'd want to play that too.
But yeah.
Okay, well, the sale ends
It's a really fun game.
The sale ends tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
Best get on it. It is 99 gigabytes on Epic Game Launcher, by the way.
Okay.
Wild stuff, right? That's like it. I was like, what for? Why?
I had
That game
99
is so
gigabytes
big,
free, but that's a lot of space. What can I
right?
delete?
Dude, that's one security breach and a half.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to see because I only have so much space left.
Yeah. Like, I definitely had to get rid of some stuff because I had only had like 17 gigabytes free. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of security breach.
Oh no.
I know, right? How will I ever 100% the game a second time?
Yeah.
But
I gotta find all the secrets again. Even though they're not really secrets because I know where they all are.
Exactly. Oh my god. Man.
Oh, I know.
Borderlands 3 is really fun. Huh?
Alright. Is there
You know
any
you
other
can delete?
topics? No, it was something else.
Oh, okay.
That has something to do with FNAF.
It's less game related, but there is a show called Love, Death, and Robots. It's on Netflix, right?
Uh-huh.
It had only 2 seasons up until yesterday. So I have been binging the new season of that. It's so funny.
Have you been
I
playing
absolutely
Factorio?
love Death and Robots. Have not gotten a chance to. Too much Borderlands. But it is installed. It is officially installed.
I'm surprised it didn't get deleted in your look for more storage space.
In my purge.
In your purge, yeah.
It's actually the one thing. It's the one game that made it through, and Minecraft. I had to get rid of Path of Exile, sadly.
No.
The game that stopped working. Like, I can't even play it on my computer anymore. It just crashes if I try to leave a certain place.
Oh, Path of Exile?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that character or if it's just Path of Exile can't run on my computer anymore.
That's weird though, but do you run Borderlands 3 on your computer?
Yep.
That's interesting.
It's so weird. Oh. And about Borderlands 3, I haven't had to do janky setups at all. Not once.
Oh, you don't need to use a controller and a keyboard and a mouse?
I do not.
Okay.
See, this is good times. Good times. It gives me hope for Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Maybe my computer fixed whatever its issue was. Or maybe it was just Borderlands 2 hating me. We'll see. Whenever we actually go back to play Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Because I think we got to like level like 30 or something and then just stopped.
Yeah. Did I tell you I beat Borderlands 2?
Oh, you did not?
Yeah, I beat
Is it cool ending?
Yeah, it's cool. You fight a big. Do you care? Do you care about?
I know
spoilers?
a little bit of spoilers. Borderlands 3 kind of spoils a few things already. Like for instance, I know Handsome Jack is dead.
Yeah, you kill him. Yeah.
Because the start of Borderlands. Well, they introduce all the characters from Borderlands 2 back in Borderlands 3. So you meet Maya, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Maya killed Handsome Jack," and like stuff like that. I'm like, what? Wild.
Anyways, the vault.
Oh no, it said Lilith did. I think.
Anyways, the vault is a giant warrior, which is a giant dragon. And you kill the dragon. It's really easy, actually. So yeah, you kill the dragon, and then it shoots out a bunch of guns and money and whatever the purple stuff's called.
Iridium.
Iridium.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost called it Ethereum. I knew that was wrong.
Talking about that, it drops cryptocurrency. Yo, time to play Borderlands 2.
Yeah. Well, probably not, since the crypto market's crashing.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Dang.
things that are
We
worth.
would have had our chance with Borderlands 2.
Yeah, things that were worth few $100,000 are now worth like $20 or a few $100 now.
Uh,
Yeah, it
oh my
completely
god.
tanked, and these people are all like, "Oh my god, I had all my savings in this," and it's like, why? It's like I was watching a
Yeah, it rises and falls too fast.
yeah, I was watching
Uh-huh.
a podcast about it, or where they happened to talk about it, and they're like, "You gotta feel bad for him." I was like, "No, you don't." I mean, you can feel bad. Like I'm like, "Oh, it sucks that you lost all this," but like, you don't.
Yeah.
Why did you do that
Like,
in the first place?
yeah,
There's so many red
there's a
flags.
famous phrase called, yeah, famous phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
Like, there's a reason people say that.
and even still, it's like there's so many red flags with like how it's run and how many scams that happen every day. And it's just like, why would
hmm
you fall for that? Or since I fall for,
Like, it's
why
a
would you
chance to
even
make
get
a lot of
involved in that?
money, but
Oh yeah,
sure, you can make it's like gambling, honestly. Like, it's literally gambling at a certain
yeah.
point.
Well, yeah. Doing anything in the stock market is like gambling because you're just like, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the next Amazon or it's gonna be the next Apple.
Like, getting into stocks sounds fun, but you kind of have to be willing to accept the loss of all that money you put in. So,
Yeah,
with that idea, that is literally just gambling.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Anyways,
Like, I don't
yeah. Anyway, I beat Borderlands too. It's pretty fun.
know. We need to go back and play it together again sometime because
Well,
I really
I
liked
already
playing as
beat it,
Maya.
so.
Well, not with me, you didn't. God.
Yeah, with you healing me with your infinity gun.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love doing that. See, that's something that is sad about the Siren. The Siren doesn't have that anymore. That's not one of the perks.
Oh, I don't want to play anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, I think most of your regeneration is gonna come from the Beast Tamer. Uh, because the Gunner does have one skill that does regeneration for people, allies and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not very consistent. It's like on a critical hit, you and your allies for 6 seconds get health regeneration. I'm like, okay, so
Wow.
only if I critical for 6 seconds, and it's only 2% health regen or something crazy like that. Like, it's not even it's so minor, and it's its requirement is so specific. I'm never gonna get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also near the end of the path, so it's really late game anyway. Like, oh my god, I will never.
Yeah, that does not sound like. Yeah.
Yeah, like it could save your life, but it won't keep you alive for long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it, it's like having a really weak shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Essentially.
man. Oh, and they've also added a mechanic to Borderlands 3 called Anointed or something. Um, so when something is anointed, it can affect your skills or whatever. Like, it'll do this special effect after your action skill is used. So if I use Phase Lock, after it's over, it does a certain effect. For instance, it's like, oh, when this is over, gain 50% shield and 20% weapon damage or something. I don't know, like crazy stuff like that.
Uh huh.
So it gives you short bursts of a buff after your skill is over, and it's really cool. Like, they also have class specific ones where it's like after skill is done. Like, one for the gunner is after my auto bear or iron bear is over and I'm not using it anymore once I leave it. I gain 50 or 75% more shield and health for 20 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's nice. Sure, why don't I just almost double my health and shield real quick for a
Yeah,
pretty decent amount of time?
that
You know,
sounds fair.
doesn't sound bad. Right? Like, oh my god, I was really happy with that one. So there's some really cool stuff like that. But you can only get them from like the Iridium shop. I think they have like a really rare chance of dropping, but their best shot of getting them is from the Iridium shop.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Whenever we beat Borderlands 2 together, we'll move up to Borderlands 3.
Yeah. All right. Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 came out.
Oh snap!
Woo!
The game that everyone's told me about that I've never looked at.
Oh.
What is it about? Is it
Okay.
like just little puppets?
I'll hit you. I got you, man. So, Chapter 1 came out a few months ago, I think, and it was $5 on Steam, or $6. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, this game is so spoopy. It's about this. It's about a toy factory where everyone went missing, I guess. Yeah, apparently everyone went missing, and you are now trying to find everyone. Anyways,
Let me guess. They possess the puppet.
you're getting close. So you walk in after you do a child puzzle. You see Huggy Wuggy, who is a dumb head. He's a big lanky guy with big lips and an arched like half crest like a crescent moon head, but it's the crescent is up. Anyways.
Yeah, I think I've seen him. He looks
Yeah.
like he has like almost like a triangle head almost.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean like upside down triangle. And there's like a dip in the middle. But anyways,
it's really weird.
yeah, so you go in and you're like, oh look, it's Huggy Wuggy. You then leave and do something, then you come back to that room. You're like, oh no, Huggy Wuggy is gone. You then go down a hallway and you see his little arm. It's supposed to be a children's toy, so honestly, Huggy Wuggy isn't a bad name, but it is a very bad name. In any other context, really Huggy Wuggy's a terrible name, but in this context, it's acceptable. So, Huggy Wuggy, you walk down a hallway after seeing he's missing, and you see his little swiggly arm go into a doorway, and everyone goes, ah! Then you go in through this dark hallway, and then steam sprays at you, and you're like, ah! And then you, go down a hallway, and then you make a toy. And then you use that toy to open a door, which is an interesting security system to say the least. You then go down this hallway, and then a genuinely actually kind of freaky jump scare slash, well, it's a jump scare. Huggy Wuggy comes out from the darkness of the hallway. I don't know why there's no lights on. And if there weren't lights on, you'd still be able to see since there's light in the room you're coming from. Whatever. Anyways, Huggy Wuggy comes out, and he's all tall and whatever. And everyone's like, ah! And then you run, and there's a whole chase sequence in the vent, and then you get to one point, and then you pull down this box, and then he falls to his death, and there's blood on the I-beams. But that's just a theory, a game theory. Anyways, then you go to this big flower on the wall, and you find Poppy. That was chapter 1. In very broad terms, that's chapter 1. So Huggy is dead. And you find a bunch of tapes around, and these tapes give you lore bits. Believe it or not, everyone loves lore. Everyone loves lore, and I'll get to why I love lore here in a minute after I tell you about chapter 2, which is $10, which it's like an extra maybe 15 minutes of gameplay, and it's an extra $5. So take that for what you will. So this time you're against Mommy Longlegs or whatever. You follow Poppy a little bit. Who's Poppy is this tiny doll. She's like running in the vents or whatever.
Mhm.
You open her case at the end of the first chapter, anyways. So you find Poppy, and she's like, "Come follow me. I'll take you to the train so you can leave. Because I guess you were here to rescue me or something. I don't know. I haven't watched Game Theory in a while. Anyway, so you follow Poppy, and then Poppy's standing in front of a giant hole, which is never a good idea. With her back to the hole, which is definitely not a good idea. Very much a red flag. Then, believe it or not, she gets grabbed by Mommy Longleg or whatever, and gets pulled into the hole. And then you're like, oh
What the
no.
heck?
And then you jump into the hole, because of course you would. So, and then you're put through...
Clear solutions.
And then you're put through trials that Mommy Longlegs gives you, because Mommy Longlegs was actually a child trainer in this underground child re-teaching ring. I don't know, man. They just make this stuff up. I think they hit a pot, dude, and they're like, alright, kids have to be involved. Alright? And there has to be a cute, marketable mascot. Okay. Anyways. So you go down to this platform.
So they saw
What?
So they saw FNAF and were like, okay, we gotta do something like that.
I'm getting to that.
But much different.
So you go down this
Sorry.
hole. It ends up being a slide, and everyone has like the president has a slide, the CFO has a slide, the whatever, they all have slides. Everyone important has a slide. Anyways, you go through the slide, you then find the big child training room, which is supposed to be a kid fun time room, but it's actually a training room. It's like, have you ever seen Black Widow, where they do like the children training stuff, like where they take kids and then force them to do
Yeah.
martial arts, and it's that. They're making it seem really fun and friendly.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like a theory people have, but I literally watched I watched Game Theory play Chapter 2, and I was like, this is clearly what is happening, and I don't care what anyone else has to say. This is definitely what is happening. Because there's also posters that are like,
Yeah.
do your part, adopt a child for playtime, co. It's like, yeah, they're definitely training children to be murderers. Like, that's definitely what is happening. Anyways, but that's just my theory. A game theory. Thanks for listening. I'm not done yet, though. So you go down, there's like 3 games. You have to do all 3 games. One is believe it or not, Simon Says, red, press red.
Of course.
Red, blue, red, but then it gets really weird. It's like red, blue, J, heart emoji, pie. Yeah, anyways.
What?
That's not a joke. It actually happens.
Simon Says for adults.
Yeah. Then there's one where you do a Huggy Wuggy hole in the wall where they come through. It's whack-a-mole, but with Huggy Wuggy. So like these Huggy Wuggy wannabes crawl through the holes, then you use your grab pack to smack them. You can't see because it's so dark in the room, but whatever. And then the last one is... the last one is you can only move when the lights are off, and there's a caterpillar that can move. And if he sees you move while the light's on, he'll kill you, but he's also chasing you while the lights are on. So...
Oh,
yeah. And that one really was like, yeah, they're definitely teaching kids to murder people. Because it's like a whole obstacle course. It's like, yeah, these kids are definitely learning to kill the president of Taiwan or something. Like, they are. Yeah. So...
They're learning how to do it.
So after you do those 3 games, you drag this cart to break this wall so that you can get into the basement for some reason. Mrs. Tall Legs is in there. You punch her a couple times. She dies. And then you leave. And that's Chapter 2, in a nutshell. So...
Weird.
Yeah. And there's also lots of blood on the floor because it wouldn't be an indie horror game if there wasn't blood on the floor.
Of course.
I'm just saying, we use blood too much. Like, when I'm walking down a spoopy hallway and I see blood under a door, that does not give me an indication to go in the door. That gives me one to go past the door and or turn around and leave.
It's trying to tell you, context clues. That's important. Go there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I know. In sense of the game, it's like, yeah, I need to go here. But if this was real, and I was like, I'm sneaking in this factory to find my work people, and I saw that, I'm like, yeah, never mind, they're fine, probably. Yeah, or like I'd
Yeah,
call
like
911. Like, I
why
may
did
be
they not
breaking and
after the
entering, but I think
first,
someone died. Sorry.
right? Why
Yeah.
didn't after the first puppet comes to life and it dies? Why didn't they just be like, nah, fuck this, I'm out?
Yeah. I.
You know, like
So
I don't think I care about them anymore.
yeah. So you like.
It's just like, yeah.
So you like. You finish the chapter two, and of course there are more tapes, and this time there are, believe it or not, notes that you can't read because there's no enlarge function. Like, so you can't make the picture bigger. You have to just get really close to your screen and angle the paper just right so the words aren't blurry.
Oh my god.
There's also trophies because every game needs a trophy. Um, and there's marketable characters. What else could you ask for as an indie game developer?
See, like the only
And
reason I know what they
NFTs.
look
I'm
like
sorry. There's
is,
also NFTs. And that's how you get
oh
the
my god, of
lore,
course
if
there
you
are.
get the NFTs.
Jesus.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, I actually, the only reason I know what they look like is because they have Poppy Playtime merchandise, like everywhere.
Oh, and they sold the movie right, so there's a movie coming out soon. I will laugh so
Oh my
hard if it
god.
comes out before the FNAF movie. I will clown you so hard, bro. I'm like, hey, since the FNAF movie isn't coming out, do you want to go watch Poppy Playtime with me? Dude, I would. I'm like, yo, do you want to go watch Poppy
That is,
Playtime Chapter 1?
oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you want to watch the Hello Neighbor movie?
I'm kind of over Hello Neighbor, I'm gonna be honest.
Who
They have so much stuff now.
who isn't over Hello Neighbor? It's just a Poppy Playtime Part 2. It's actually Part 1 of Poppy Playtime. Because it, like, kind of followed the same track as, except for the NFTs, I don't think they did NFTs. But,
Like the fact they have a book series and a
yeah.
second game, no, two more games after Hello Neighbor about that, like it's
Yeah. They got,
weird.
they
They're
got,
also just as clunky.
they got Hello Neighbor, they got Hello Neighbor the books, because FNAF had books. They got some plushies, they got the trading
Oh,
cards, probably. Of course, they got the Among Us
right.
knockoff game. They got the second one coming out, apparently. And, like, no hate to Tiny Build. I think that's their name. Because they also have that game Not for
Yeah,
Broadcast,
it's
which
kind
seems
of.
like a great game.
That is a great game.
Yeah, that seems like a cool game. I think it's not the publisher. I think it's... Well, the publisher is definitely being like, let's make more plushies. but,
Right.
But I think it's probably... Well, it probably is the... No, screw you, Tiny Hat. No, your game sucks, actually. Or Tiny Build. Your game sucks.
Tiny Hat.
Tiny Hat? Tiny Build, your game sucks, actually.
Screw you, Tiny Hat.
Screw you, Tiny
Like the
Hat.
second you're no longer on board, forget its name.
Okay, who's Tiny Hat?
Oh my
What am I thinking
god.
about? Screw you, Tiny Hat.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, like, and
Oh,
like
wait,
the
these
game
are
wasn't even
adult...
initially about.
Tiny Hat is an
Huh?
adult game creator. Oh, they made Memoirs of a Battle
Yo.
Brothel. That's why I know them. That's who Tiny Hat is.
Oh.
That's why I
Oh my
know who they
god.
are. Screw you,
That's
Tiny Hat.
crazy.
Your game sucks. That works for you too. Yeah,
Well, we never did buy their games, so we'll never know.
we don't need it. Yeah, I guess you're right. Not for $25. I'm not buying their game.
God.
Like,
Yeah.
anyways,
Like,
so
how is my shotgun gonna hit myself? What do you mean?
I don't know,
God.
man.
That game was so
Didn't we
bad.
only fight? Didn't we only have like one battle that entire like 3 hours we were playing?
Literally, only one fight.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And then we called them a bunch of like
Whores.
faceless whores at the end.
Yeah.
And
It's just
we
like
lost
one at a
relationship status
time.
with
It's like
all of
this
them.
person is mad at you. This person is mad at you. This person is mad at you. That was funny.
Like literally, like they were all immediately upset. I thought that was hilarious.
And then then there was that one girl, that android girl, who was like,
Yeah,
"Do you want me to give you a blowjob?" And we were like, "No, that's cool." And she was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Okay, fine. If
she
you're
got
gonna
sad.
insist." And then she got mad, and I was like, "What? You?" Yeah.
Yeah, she was weird. She got mad if you rejected her or if you said yes. Like the
Yeah.
dialogue for not doing it, she seems upset that you didn't like her. But if you actually do it, okay, wait. If you actually do it, there's no relationship effect. But if you say no and you stay no, then your relationship actually declines. It's weird. She doesn't like it either way. She was picky.
Yeah.
What do you want? Sex or no sex? Pick one.
Sex or no, and there's not even a cutscene. At the beginning of the game, there's a cutscene, and you can like
I
pick
was
where you want to
literally.
do stuff. And this time, it's just a black screen that says she gave you excellent head, and then it's over.
I
And then you go
swear.
back to managing your
Literally.
brothel. It's like what? Ugh.
We didn't even get to manage it really much. Like,
It's not even our job to manage it. It's that other girl's job.
we don't know what our job is.
We don't know what our job is. We don't know why we're there. Yeah.
Like, are we a mercenary? Or like that brothel manager was like a political figure or something? Like some real big shot. Like,
Well,
like
ever
they
since
had
the
something to
brothels took
do
over the
with the
world.
actual government. Huh?
I said ever since the brothels took over the world, after that big war
Yeah.
against brothels and
Because
clowns.
apparently brothels are just guilds or something.
Yeah, we have the hottest
Like,
girls.
okay.
Dude, that game
I
is awful.
swear. I'm like,
Anyways, sorry, we got sidetracked on Tiny Build. Screw you, Tiny Build. Honestly, you two Mob Games, who makes Poppy Playtime, like,
man,
you don't need more child-friendly horror games. Like,
yeah.
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 No matter what you think about FNAF, I don't think it started out as a child-friendly horror game.
It definitely wasn't supposed to be.
I
It's
think it
about
was.
murdering children.
I think it was
Like,
past. Maybe the Pizzeria Simulator, maybe, where they started doing these
yeah.
weird bits of like, you have a new job. Don't worry, we don't take responsibility if anyone dies or if they get eaten with cannibalism. We don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, aha, that's kind of funny, but I see where you're going for now. You're, yeah.
And they've actually actively tried to make it child friendly now because like the cut line where Freddy says, "Oh, you're bleeding." They changed it to, "Oh, you're broken."
Yeah. Well,
Or like
no.
something
They
like that. And
changed
it's
it.
like,
They
well,
changed that because he's a robot, Nick.
oh, of course.
Yeah. How could you be?
I
thought you.
honestly
I thought
don't
you
subscribe
100% of the
to
game,
he's a
Nick. How did you
robot.
not know that?
I did. But that game, okay, like as much as I enjoyed playing that game, the lore implications are none. There are no lore implications. There is no lore to that game.
Are
They
you
just want people to play it and be
are
like, "What does this mean?"
are you saying MatPat GT, game theory MatPat, food theory MatPat, film theory MatPat is lying to me?
Well, he says it the best himself in his final theory. He's like, "Well, this is all completely conjecture, and this is the best we can come up with because this game has no real evidence going any which way.
Oh, okay.
Because
Then he's
none
not
of the
lying to
evidence actually fits."
me. Okay. Well, then never
Yeah,
mind.
he actually says at the end, like, "This is the best we can come up with because none of the evidence comes to a full theory." And I'm like, you know what? Good on you, Matt Pat. At least you recognize it.
I just like.
Because he's not wrong.
I just hope that.
Like,
I just really wanted the ending where they drive away in the van to be the ending. I want that to be the true ending.
right.
Not.
No, it won't be, because there's gonna be DLC for this game.
Oh my god. Not the Vanny was pushed off the roof, but she's back on the roof. What happened? Oh my gosh, was she not actually Vanny, Vanessa? I also hope Vanessa isn't Vanny, because oh my god, that is so stupid. And it is so clearly made for children, which I
Right.
know we just said that it is, but still, you could make their little brains
What
work
if they're
any harder.
twins? Maybe they're twins, Jacob. Maybe they're twins.
Yeah,
Twin sisters.
Vanessa and Nessie. No, Vanessa and Vanessa and Velma. That's it.
Yes. Velma
Vanessa
and
and Velma.
Venice. Oh man.
I hate it. And it's
Yeah, like that ending was stupid to me, and like everyone's like, "Oh, that must just be her as dead," but there's nothing showing she's dead there. There's no like graphical representation of her being dead.
well, no.
Like they didn't make her translucent.
Then
like,
then it would get
color
a
lighter.
teen rating, and no one can play like children. The parents wouldn't allow them to get a teen rating. Actually, what is
But they
FNAF's rating? Is it teen or is it E10 plus?
PG-13.
That's a movie.
I think it's like PG-13.
That's a movie.
Whatever. T-14. Might be T-14.
I think it's
I don't know if
teen.
it has a rating. What is its rating? Because there's no blood. There's no mention of blood. There's no actual
Mature.
mention of death. Not even
X17.
once. Like
Actually-
they don't even say death. Like they everything is just spooky. They say disappearances. They say they're missing. Like, but they don't ever actually say death, blood, or anything actually bad. All you can really assume is like, you can't even assume they're gonna kill Gregory, like because all they do is pick him up and scream.
Yeah.
And like in the old games, they're like, oh yeah, you'll get stuffed into a suit. Oh yeah, you're gonna be put into this meat grinder or whatever. You're gonna be gutted like a fish, you know. But in this one, it's like, oh no, we're just trying to get you to Vanessa or Vanny. She doesn't even have a knife anymore. They got rid of her knife. They changed her model so she doesn't have one.
And it's 12 plus.
I think it's.
So I think it's teen. I think you're right. Or it's E10 plus. No, it's not 10 plus. It's 12 plus. Anyways.
Like it was so censored. It's crazy. Because it would have had a higher rating and would have been more interesting if they kept with the original idea. But because they were trying so hard for it to be child friendly, it kind of lost a lot of its effect.
Maybe that's why it never got finished. Because they had to, like, undo so many things that, like...
Probably.
No. Alright.
Like
I'll say screw Tiny Hat, screw Tiny Build, but Steel Wool, you're lukewarm. Okay? But one more mistake,
Yeah.
dude, you're gone. Okay? You're gone.
I found out that they've only made like 3 other games. Like they literally are like they're super small.
We got
Like
Jim
the
over
only
Sorry, continue.
the only games off of the list that I knew of was Help Wanted. Like there's 3 others other than Help Wanted and Security Breach. So they've made 5 games total. And like I didn't even know those other ones existed. Like I was like, "Oh my god. I thought like Steel Wool was like I thought Steel Wool had like a track record or something, or like they were actually like known for something." Nah. They come from nowhere.
Man.
Like it's crazy that they were given the task of Security Breach. I mean, they did pretty good considering. But like, I don't know. That game, many mixed opinions. Could have been so much better if they didn't remove so many features.
Yeah.
Like, because apparently Vanessa rather, was supposed to have moments where she like slowly starts turning into Vanny. Because there's a Vanny meter that they got rid of.
A Vanny meter?
Like, yeah. So, like, slowly over the course of events or something, like, no one can really know because they got rid of it all. But
Yeah.
there's a meter that, as soon as it reaches the top, Vanessa's model gets replaced with Vanny. So, she actually is the evil bad guy that's gonna stab you to death.
Understandable.
Yeah, so like, it is, Vanessa is supposed to be Vanny, but we don't know because it was cut. Oh.
Oh my word.
You know.
Also, like,
Man,
just kill William Afton. Like, he is so dead. Like,
right?
I mean, he should be dead like 4 times over at this point. He's like, nope, I'm a computer virus now. Nope, I'm actually still in a suit now, despite burning.
And as far as we can tell, the computer virus version of him and the him in the suit are actually different, apparently, which is weird. So he actually exists twice right now.
As you do.
Isn't that fun? Well, no, he exists 3 times because part of him is still in hell.
Of course.
There are 3 versions of him at this point. 3. Like, oh my god.
Honestly,
So,
if the bar for our game's story is FNAF, honestly, I think we've already passed it.
at this point, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe FNAF can bring it back somehow, but I don't know how. Because
resetting.
This game,
if they went back to maybe like the
thing
first game, maybe.
yeah, because the funny thing is, that's what they were trying to do with Help Wanted. They were trying to reset the timeline. Because in Help Wanted, they said all the old games are just games. Like, that's like, oh yeah, like the actual events, those didn't happen. These are all video games. Ha ha ha. No one died. But he still exists, I guess.
Yeah, I was about
I
to
don't
say, then what did Afton do? Did he just accidentally become a computer virus? If he didn't,
Yeah,
if he didn't kill if he didn't kill anyone, then why is this? Like,
because in the FNAF lore or whatever, they're saying, oh yeah, FNAF 1 through 4 were all video games we made to make light of actual events.
Okay.
Like, they say that. It's like, those were all video games made by a madman.
I remember.
Crazy.
I remember, yeah.
And then Tape Girl is like, yeah, no, those games were made by someone they wanted to make the actual events look tame.
Yeah.
So, but we don't know what those actual events are because this is a gamified version of those events. So we don't know. Anyway, FNAF 6 and up are the only ones that are actually in the lore, I guess. So, who knows?
Like, I don't know. I'm confused just listening to you talk.
No, that's everyone. That's anyone who is FNAF stuff.
If they're trying to reset it, why would they skip a... Okay, if they were trying to reset it, why would they say everything is a game, but the same guy who killed people in those games is actually still the bad guy, but he actually hasn't done anything because those are all games. But he is now a computer virus that made a guy cut his face off with a paper cutter.
So the thing is, they never actually said his name until FNAF 6. That was the first time he ever actually had a name. So Pizzeria Simulator was the first time, and that's also the first time those like little animations that keep showing up all the time exist. So FNAF 6 on is where they're resetting the timeline or whatever, and that's when they actually create a name for the killer. Because before then, it's just some animated figure that we don't know.
Phone
they always
guy.
Call him Purple Guy. Nah, Purple Guy.
Oh. Pink
Phone
guy.
Guy is someone else. I think Phone Guy is his son or something.
Yeah, okay. When the first Phone Guy dies, like... Is that... Well, it has to be canon. Everything is canon. I think that's the problem, too. They make everything canon, so they have to fit it in somewhere. Like, even...
And that's why they try to do the reset.
Even Ultimate Custom Night, where they're like, this is just a fun game, but actually there's secret lore hidden everywhere. You just have to look hard enough.
Literally.
Yeah.
All of the death lines, whenever you die to someone, it like gives you a special line where it's like, oh, lore implications. And then it makes fun of you. It actually makes fun of you for trying to think there's lore. because there's a character when he kills you, he's like, sometimes when you look at like a picnic table, there's nothing going on with that picnic table. There's no deep meanings behind it being there. Sometimes what you see is just what it is, and you have to accept that. And he just says stuff like that. I'm like, okay.
Is that Mr. Hippo?
In the same game. Yeah, Mr. Hippo. And
Mr. Hippo's awesome.
I don't remember his actual example. I don't remember his actual thing he said, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah,
and
Mr.
it's also
Hippo's...
in the same game where Golden Freddy, if they kill you, is like someone screaming for help or something. I don't know. You were saying about Mr. Hippo?
Man, I missed like FNAF 1 and 2. Like boomer moment, but anyways. Like when you died and then the scream of the like FNAF, like the Freddy's like the sound. That sound where people are like, oh my god, it's a kid screaming. Oh my god, there's a kid in the costume. Oh my god. And everyone's like freaking out. And now it's like, oh my god, it's a robot that has a remnant in it because a kid didn't actually get stuffed in it, but he got part of himself put in it. But like we don't know how we got the remnant from it, but we did get it, and now it's in this robot. But it may not actually be killing you because you're probably actually asleep in a dream in a hospital because you got your head bitten off like 10 years ago. But not in the year you think it is. It's in that other year, a few years before that. It's then. But not then. But it's actually not then either. It's actually a few years before that. You're just imagining it was then because it's actually then. But it was actually then. So, you understand what I'm saying, right?
I think you just summed up. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Typical FNAF speak right here.
Yeah,
bro. I understand.
Yeah, if me and Matt were talking right now, like we would be like, yeah.
See, I wish that there was like, I want like an hour-long video that summarizes all of the actual things that are known as fact at this point, because no one knows.
I have the video for you.
Because there's. You'll make it for me.
Well, no, there is a video of a guy who goes through what he knows, what is known, and he kind of assumes a couple things, and it's over an hour long. I'll send it to you.
You gotta send that my way.
You'll never watch
maybe
it,
I can make heads or tails. I probably will, because, there are, like, apparently there's, like, 12 hours worth of, like, what was it, 12 hours? It was something crazy like that, worth of, like, game theory videos on FNAF. Like, oh my god. Like,
and, like, most of those are out of date by now. Like, the first one, like, the first couple are definitely out of date by now. Because it's like, it was the phone guy. It's like, phone guy doesn't exist anymore, baby. Like, boomer.
Like, the first theory was that it was purgatory. And, like, that they were just living through the hell of the events that they caused. And, like, that was wrong for the first game, but it's right for later game, because Custom Night.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that his first theory was right, just like 6 or 7 years too early.
Well, Scott Coffin took notes when he was watching those videos.
I think he does. I'm not even gonna lie. I think he takes notes from it and then changes the games based on his theories. Low key.
Yeah,
because
that makes
sometimes, sense. Because sometimes it's like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't even think Scott Coffin knows where he's going. And then like a theory comes out that makes some kind of sense, and he's like, that's right. We're doing that.
Yep,
like,
that's me. I did that. Yep, that's exactly where I wanted to go. Yeah.
Because like he's said in the past about how he was like, oh yeah, none of this was planned. I didn't have any of these things thought up at that time. It's like, well, no duh. There's no way you thought up all of this from that first game.
Yeah, he thought it was going to be his last game or something, right?
Yeah.
Or like if this game didn't work, he was just gonna. So why would you think that far? It's like if I would have done the same thing. If I had made FNAF, like, all right, I'm gonna leave these cryptic hints because no one's gonna care. So who's gonna see it? And all of a sudden, Markiplier's crying over it. We got game theory making theories over it. We got like, well, I have to make a second one, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've like talked myself into a hole. It's like, all right, I'll add these things and I'll make it like, I guess, a prequel. Or what? I'll use the same voice, even though he's supposed to die in the first one. It's like, oh, they still love it. Okay, I'll make a third one, but this time I'll use a pre-recorded voice, and also you'll type a code into the wall to unlock a secret happiest day minigame. And then in the fourth one, I'll make sure he's dead because he got bit on that day that they hinted at in the first game. But it actually wasn't that day. It was the day before that. It's actually a few years before that. But it actually wasn't even then either. It was actually multiple years after that. But actually it was before that too, because actually that takes place when a different bite happened and a different kid got bit. Actually only 5 people. Anyways, so, yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like,
Yeah.
because we don't even know if that kid is dead. Like, he might be a robot now. They think he's a robot because like they've said many times that someone, who knows who at this point, was made into a robot. So Phone Guy is William Afton's robot kid, one of his 3 kids. He has 3 kids that it could be. We don't know.
Yeah.
Was it the bite victim?
You're making me sick, dude.
The bite victim's older brother? Who was it? Was it, huh? Yeah. Anyway,
Well, it's the victim of the bite of 75, actually. It was that guy. It was actually before the known timeline. It's actually going to be FNAF Security Breach, the DLC. It's going to be talking about the bite of 75.
They don't even know what year Security Breach takes place in.
25, 50.
Because it says, like, happy whatever anniversary for it. But it's like, is it really that year? Because what's it celebrating? It doesn't say what it's celebrating, because there's so many things it could be celebrating. Because all of the past stuff has already been said. It's either a dream or it's a game. So is that really when it started? We don't know. We just know it's been existent for 30
my head
years.
hurts. Anyways.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's enough for that. We've said we would stop talking about it, but it's so funny to talk about because of how just incoherent it is at this point.
It's, yeah.
You got bites, you got kids, you got... And, like, okay, when I think of FNAF...
robots that aren't people.
I think about this guy who has killed, like, tons of kids. But it's like he only killed, like, 5, maybe 7-ish.
Yeah.
And, like... And there's also, like, these FNAF VHS tapes where it's, like, these people, like, freaking out in their Springlock suits and Michael Afton is smiling in the corner. It's like, did Michael Afton make those suits to kill people? I think he just made those suits to quote-unquote save money. Like, I don't think he's like this... I think he's a psychopath because he lost his son or whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna kill someone else's kid. I don't know. Anyways, but I don't think he's making the Springlock suits to kill people.
He didn't even make the Springlock suits, because in the books, his partner did. His partner is the one who made the stuff.
That's what I thought.
Like...
Well, I didn't think that, but I did think they had, like, a partnership.
Yeah, because he's working with some other guy, and he made all the Springlock suits. They weren't supposed to kill. They just were poorly designed back in, like, the 80s.
Everything was poorly designed in the 80s.
You're right. So then he just, for some reason, wants to kill people. It's never said why he kills people. He just does. And we don't even know if the books are truth or if they're just explaining things. We don't know. There's no... Like, oh my god. There's no confirmation anywhere for any of it.
No, they just give you news. They kind of answer a question, and then they just add 10 new things and don't explain, like, any of them. I sent you the video, by the way.
Scott Cawthon isn't going to explain anything anymore because technically he's not even attached to the games by name anymore.
No, because he's Republican.
Well, it's because he's a Trump supporter. But,
same thing.
Republican.
Same diff. I mean, yeah.
Dude, he paid so much to the Trump Foundation. It's crazy. Like,
I mean, you're buying the plushies, you're buying the action figure, you're buying the games, man.
Listen,
not me.
I haven't bought. I've bought none of those except for Security Breach once. Well, twice.
Yeah.
Other people buy me the other stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So they're supporting him, not me.
Yeah, they're supporting him. I'm not.
I'm just playing the game. I'm not.
Yeah. I'm just illegally pirating it, of course.
I play on Roblox. Yeah. Well,
and then, you know what? I probably would play Roblox if I did that.
Yeah. And then back to Poppy Playtime. Like, okay, so I talked about this earlier before we got sidetracked. Just angry sidetracked. against the story, but where it does these stupid jokes where it acts like everything is fine, and then it goes like, "We're not responsible for your death." Hypno states, whatever. Lots of games do that. Like, or at least Poppy Playtime does that a lot. It very much resembles FNAF in that aspect, where it has these posters that are
Yeah.
like, work. Oh wait, it's always good to take breaks, and it's like, if your break gets over, makes Poppy Playtime lose money, you are fired or whatever. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
and it's supposed to be like one of those like, this company's actually not that great. It's like, duh, it's a company. What do you
Yeah.
expect? um, but yeah,
Like, what
it's
is this?
just
Fazbear Entertainment?
it's just trying so
Yes.
hard to be this happy. I hate things that are happy, bro. I want my
I
Resident
hate happy.
Evils. I want my like even Silent Hill is kind of incoherent when you think about it. Like,
Um, 1 and 3 are the only ones connected, but even then, the story is weird. Yeah,
yeah,
like because this guy has his daughter, who is kind of like a resurrection of a god or something, I guess.
of
I
course,
think,
of course,
and
as you do,
they think that his daughter is a resurrection of God,
right?
or it might be true. I can't remember.
Eh,
And then this like great evil absorbs his daughter, and he has to kill that thing. But when he kills it, it comes back with a baby, and then gives the baby to him, but it's not his baby. It wasn't his. It was the monster's baby. So
right,
then she dies.
right.
So now he has to raise this new baby that was born from God. So born from his daughter, but not his daughter. Um, but yet she is God, despite being born from God. If that person was God in the first place, that's just a theory
What?
that everyone had.
Di,
That's what they just thought. They don't even know for a fact,
di,
because
di,
some people were like,
uh,
"No, that's just a demon."
di,
And
oh,
then the whole next game, in the third game, she's like, "Oh my God, what is happening? Where am I? I don't understand any of this." And then like halfway through the game, she's like, "Oh yeah, my dad told me about this place. Like he talked about how he had to kill a god, and I was born from that god, and all this. Like, and you're telling me that you have no idea why you're here, even though you know you were born from a god? Are you serious? Are you serious?" Like,
anyways,
she annoys me. She actually says, "I have no idea why I'm here or what this place is." Then later in the game, someone's like, "Okay, so like what has been happening? Why are you a part of this?" She's like, "I don't know why I'm a part of this, but I guess it is important to let you know that I was born from a god my dad killed, who was his actual daughter, but not." Like, okay, what? Like when she had said
anyways,
that, I stopped. She said that, and I stopped playing the game because I was like, I need to go back to the first one and replay that. Because I didn't know any of that. I was like, what is she saying right now? What?
anyways.
It was. Mm, mm.
So, like, these games are just annoyingly child friendly. Like,
Oh, the
I
newer ones,
like
yeah,
I don't
for
get
everything.
I don't care. Have your little jokes about things actually being not as good as they are, whatever. But like, come on, Resident Evil 7, you get your hand chopped off with like a chainsaw, and you pull like that's so cool. You have to shoot your
Didn't
wife
one of
to to incapacitate her. Like that's awesome. And you get kicked in the face, and he says, "Welcome to the family." That is so cool. But no, I get, oh, Vanny or Vanessa Bunny. That must be Vanny. Duh.
yeah,
Stupid
it's
bear man.
oh,
Idiot.
like they need to know who their like audience is. Like we don't like it because it's child friendly. We like it because it's like, oh my God, that's actually kind of scary. This
Be-
super cute thing that people love is like murderous bear
yeah.
that will like murder me. Like what?
Yeah.
And it's gonna actively chase me around so it can do that? What do you mean?
Like
This thing that is like, oh my God.
the
Yeah.
the first and second games are like really actually pretty scary because it's like
Yeah.
they are supposed to be these friendly robots, but then they're like, I see security guard must stuff inside suit, whatever. And it's also
Yeah.
just like these kids went missing. These kids died, most likely, and they got hidden away or put into suits. And it's like that's
And like,
awful. And now it's like,
yeah.
yeah, that may have happened, but probably not. Anyways, this guy's a virus now. He's actually existing in 3 separate places at once.
I
Um,
swear.
and it's also all the lights are on, even though it's the middle of the night, because it's actually realistic. Because companies do that because it's cheaper than turning the lights off. It's like, who said this game was
Yeah.
realistic? Turn the lights off. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like
just
that is actually how things work, and it's really weird.
yeah.
Why don't they turn off the lights? I don't get that. Because, like, nowhere does it. Nowhere turns off the lights, and I don't understand.
I think
Like,
I
they'll
think
turn
it's
off
just
some of
cheaper
them.
to leave them on, which is interesting. But like again, FNAF isn't a realistic game. Like
Yeah.
you're saying this mega corporation, which has been in who knows how many lawsuits. They joke about it all the time. How many lawsuits they get, and like
Mm-hmm.
they still can afford this massive Incrediplex times 5. It's like how much debt are they actually? How many lawsuits do they actually get? Like
Right.
yeah.
Oh, goodness. Like, I mean, I really did like the mall thing. Like, it was really cool and it was fun to
I
explore.
agree,
But
but there were
yeah,
too many lights on. That's all.
too many lights.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not
Like
scary.
the only scary part of that game is, to me personally, the only part I was actually scared by was when I was going into the basement levels, because you're suddenly in these tunnels, hallways that aren't explained why they're there or who they're actually for. You're supposed to assume that at one point it was for parties, but it's just a lower level, so they just don't use it anymore, or that
Yeah.
like the crew are there. But it's all like completely quiet, flickery lights, garbage everywhere. Like it's kind of abandoned because no one goes down there anymore. And like you just like hear a slight robot sounds. Like, okay, what the fuck was that? And then you turn the corner, and then they are just chasing you. It's like, oh god, you know, it's like it is actually scary in the basement levels, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's scary down there. You're
It's
in
the
a secluded
basement.
place that you can't get anywhere.
Children are
Yeah.
scared of the basement, so they had to target their demographic.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like it's like pink walls, all these lights on that are flickering, but you're in a basement that can't go anywhere. You were locked down here. There is no way out because the
Yeah.
doors have been blockaded. It's like, oh, okay.
I
Well,
just, man, it makes me upset.
also,
'Cause
does Gregory live in the Pizzaplex? We don't know.
who cares,
Like,
dude?
like it's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird,
he
weird.
has to, right? Because if you just leave, he goes homeless.
Yeah,
But
like
like,
he's homeless.
okay, how long has he been there? If the security guard is
That's
just now finding him, like,
yeah.
is she just
And there
not
are
good at her
security cameras
job, or like,
all over. I think that might be it, because I think we use the cameras more than she does, because we show up on those cameras constantly. You can
yeah,
see yourself on the cameras, and she doesn't know where you are. Like, how are we using the cameras more than she is?
yeah? How does she not have a novelty watch? Like,
Like,
yeah.
I
All
swear.
right, okay. And these final moments, what do you think the FNAF DLC will be? Do you think it's gonna
Um,
go back in time? Do you think it's gonna stay in the mall? Do you think
I
it's gonna
think
what?
I think it might go back in time. It might explain Bonnie, because Bonnie. Ooh, what happened to Bonnie? Oh my god. You know, like
Oh my
Bonnie's just
god!
kind of gone.
Yeah,
They don't explain where Bonnie went. The only clue they might have given is that maybe Springtrap tore Bonnie apart for parts because he has claws on his hands, and Bonnie also probably had claws. But like, that's still pretty loose. I mean, to be like alluding to Bonnie being missing this entire game, for it to just be this one detail that didn't even amount to much, like that's boring. I'm I want it to be like Bonnie like murdered a child or something, you know?
yeah, me too.
I
It's actually
want Bonnie to have yeah, I want Bonnie to have ripped a child to shreds, and they had to keep it under wraps or something. You know,
I'm
that's what I
surprised.
want,
I'm surprised mine Gator hasn't killed someone.
right? Well, Monty Gator's supposed to be the new one. Monty replaced Bonnie because,
Yeah,
but
but
like
he's
Monty's
violent.
claws. are bunnies. Yeah, yeah. But you want to just hug that big alligator?
Also, since when do bunnies have claws?
For bass. The only reason for the claws are so they could play the bass. And so
Oh,
the
I
only
was
reason Monty has them is because he's the new bass player.
about to say, like, how
Yeah.
wait, why claws? Just like,
Like,
is it a real bass guitar?
yeah, they're playing actual instruments on stage.
Well, that seems like a.
Like a lot.
Okay.
See, because this game has to take place after the third game, if the third game was canon, and that one happened in 2030.
Yeah. It
So
has
this
to.
has to be, or was that 20? When was that game taking place? I don't even know.
Who cares?
Man,
Anyways,
like,
I think the game will also take place probably in the past.
yeah, like
But like,
it needs to explain something. Something has to be explained.
would it take place inside the same pizzeria, or would it take place in a smaller? I would like to see that. I honestly kind of I want to see a security breach with like maybe 2 animatronics, like, but it's inside of a smaller
That has to be
restaurant.
its own game.
So
That
it's
has to be
like
its own game
much
entirely.
harder than, which is definitely not going to happen. Like it's in Fredbear's Family Diner. That feels like a much smaller establishment and be way scarier than a massive pizzaplex. Where like you can be,
Like that.
yeah,
That would be really cool, and I would love to see that. But it would have to be its own new game because this is only DLC.
yeah. I
So it has to
know.
use the same map.
I'm
So
shooting high.
I'm expecting some slight map differences. Maybe using those like doors that you can't get into. I don't know. Like,
It doesn't
or maybe
necessarily
Gregory
have to
just
be the
decided
same
to come
map.
back.
Sorry.
Huh?
It doesn't necessarily have to be the same map. I mean, sometimes games go to different maps on their DLCs.
Well, if they want to make their 75 GB game go up to like 100 plus, I mean,
good point. Yeah.
like like, if anything, they'll just do slightly altered pieces of the map for DLC. Like,
A boy can
otherwise,
dream.
what are they doing?
Also, it'd probably be
Right.
too scary for the children to have a smaller
You're
diner.
right, of course.
Well,
Like,
I'm being
I think this
serious.
game
I'm like,
would've been-
I think a kid would get too scared if they saw a spring lock.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, then would it be? It wouldn't be a spring lock person. It'd have to be an animatronic. But like,
Well, the spring lock suits can go autopilot.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
They are the robots, but they can also have people inside.
yeah. Okay, well
So
then
they
if we're
were
making,
actually supposed to be bigger.
well then if we're making a new FNAF game where it is somewhat the same, um, gameplay loop as FNAF Security Breach, but instead it's in like the 1980s, and you are, I don't know, Michael. You're a random child stuck in Fredbear Family Diner with Robo Spring Bonnie and Robo Spring Freddy. How would you take that? Would you make the lights on? No.
Yeah. Like, maybe some dim lights that aren't connected to the main electrical stuff, but yeah. Like, it would be really low lighting. There wouldn't be much. We wouldn't have a fully lit place like that.
Yeah. And I think
Like, no.
the flashlight should attract them. So you want to use it only when you absolutely have to. Right? That makes sense.
Yeah, because it would draw their attention and stuff,
Yeah.
and it'd make things,
I
Like,
also
you want to, like, flash it real quick and then off again.
I want them to be real scary. Real scary.
Oh,
I
like,
like
what
this.
if it's like, what if like one of them, their like suit hasn't actually been fully closed yet, so it's like half open, so it's like, oh yeah, they're just gonna devour you.
Yo, that's awesome. Yo, like, that's sick. And it's like trying to like grab you and push it into you, like into the spring lock suit.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of
Oh,
cool.
like what if there's a whole mechanic of like trying to push yourself off to like fight
Yo, that
like,
would give
slip out of
so
their
many
grasp or
kids
something?
heart attacks. That's awesome. We should do that.
Oh
Yo,
my-
hire
yeah.
us,
Can you-
Steel Wool. Hire us,
Yeah.
dude.
You just see these moving parts on the inside, like snapping and clacking and stuff as you like they're pulling you inside. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, that's actually hard. I would play that, and I would actually be scared.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I guess the only problem with it
Like-
being a smaller map was that you probably wouldn't. Probably would be a pretty short game, right? Like, what would your
Probably.
goal be other than to leave? I guess.
It might have to be okay. Well, we would have to find a motive for the character to be there. You're right.
No, they sleep there. They
So-
sleep. They're a robot. They sleep there.
It could take place for like that Charlie character from the books and be like her trying to find her brother or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just I forgot
Eureka.
about that. In the books, Charlie in the first book is like, "Oh my god, he kidnapped my brother. Oh my god, I'm so sad. What happened to my brother? Where did he go?" And then she asks him this question, "Where did my brother go? Did you kill him or whatever?" And he's like, "Nah, I didn't take your brother. I took you." Then you realize she's the one who died, and she's just a robotic version of her dead self, like with implanted memories. So she isn't even the real Charlie. She's the robot.
Oh, I remember
so
that, but like,
means-
she
Where did her
thinks.
brother go?
Yeah, but where her brother? That doesn't answer the question. Where's her brother? I mean,
Yeah,
you just
why
added a new question, but like, where's the?
Like, okay, cool. She's reeling with the fact she's a robot. But what happened to her twin brother that she loved so much? Like, okay.
Okay. Well,
Weird.
all right, Steel
Like,
Wool.
that's-
That is our.
yeah.
That is our.
Oh,
What?
it could be Sam's brother. It could be Sam's brother trying to find out what happened to his sister.
Who is
Or
Sam?
something.
Is he a robot too?
Sam is Charlie's twin.
Is he a robot too?
No.
Okay.
Charlie used to be a human, and then she died, and then a robot was made in her image.
Just
and
like Jesus.
Sam and Charlie were the twins. So if Charlie died, Sam don't know where she went. Maybe he's the main character. You know,
Well, then
the
why
character we actually want to know about.
So then, why is he in a Fredbear Family Diner though?
Because Sam and Charlie, their father was the owner of Fredbear Diner.
So is it what's his name? Charlie? No.
I think his name is
Henry.
Henry Emily.
Yeah, Henry Emily. The worst last name ever. No offense.
Because her name is Charlie, or Charlotte Emily is her name.
Why would your last name be Emily?
It's so weird.
Anyways, okay.
So weird.
Steelwool, that is our gift to you, our game idea. 5 nights, but it's only 1 night. What would it be called?
One night at Fredbear's Diner.
1 night at Fredbear's. Don't have the diner, make it too
Diner.
long. The kids will look off of it if it's too long.
One night at Fredbear's.
1 night at Fredbear's. So take that. We do want 50% of the revenue though. And we also want 60% of all the plush deals, because we know you're gonna do a lot of those. So
Wait. Yeah.
that it?
Yep.
You're gonna add something?
Yes. I was gonna say we'll only take 20% from the games, but like 90% of the plushies.
Yeah. Okay, good idea. Yeah, we'll take 90% from the plushies, only 10% from the game, or 20% from the game. Thank you
We're
for
gonna make so
listening
much
to
more
the
money
TGOM podcast, where we just make games while we talk now.
Apparently.
So we'll catch you next Sunday.
Peace out.
Bye.